What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, which means it's time for another Toypixx live stream, and I'm kind of excited about this one. There was one development today that I was especially excited about because Sesame Street characters, they're in trouble now. But with all the people freaking out about DC, you know how the internet goes. They jump in, they see some Mattel pics, and they start going, oh no, end of the line already, and blah, 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 and McFarlane was way better. All the things, you've probably seen it, that people go with when they're panicking, when they're freaking out, all to find out that the pictures they saw from Nuremberg, from a toy show in Germany, were actually of the kids' line. So that always makes me chuckle a little bit, which is why I titled the live stream thumbnail what I did. Let's flip out, because it seemed like the whole internet was flipping out. Even now, they're flipping out after it's known that this was indeed the kids' line. So really, it was just me making fun of the internet. So that's what we'll be talking about here a little bit, is maybe just seeing what we think about the DC line, what we saw. Honestly, I don't hate the sculpts. So we might chat a little about that. But what I'm really hoping happens, because I put the call out there when it came to everywhere that I posted the thumbnail and the description, was that we get some fans of Mattel in the live stream today, because I haven't really collected anything Mattel ever. I still have a bunch of Hot Wheels from when I was a kid. I used to collect Masters of the Universe way back when, but the closest I've come in decades to collecting anything Mattel is the Turtles of Grayskull crossover, and I decided against that because everything I thought was cool was some kind of exclusive, or everything I thought was insanely cool was some kind of exclusive. So I'm hoping that we get people on here that are fans of Mattel, so we can discuss maybe the business aspect of how they run things over there. We can talk a little bit about the articulation with things like Masterverse, what people there are maybe going to expect will be how the DC lines are treated. It sounds like a lot of people think they'll be treated a lot like the wrestling lines over there. And from what we've seen of the recent He-Man movie figures, I wouldn't mind if they were treated a little like that, except it would be nice if the females had some kind of waist articulation. But I digress. That's what tonight is. We're going to talk about some of this. We'll talk about some Mattel stuff, hoping some of the Mattel fans are in the stream. But before that, we must, as always, jump in on ye old chat and see what's going on. So while I'm getting that all set up, if you are catching this on the replay, let me know in the comments, what is it you want to see from Mattel's DC lines? Now, let's hop to it, shall we? If it'll let me click, we have Sci-Fi George. Ladies and gentlemen, Sci-Fi, greetings and toytations, everyone. Well, Mattel is showing off their 6.5-inch DC line with Deathstroke the Terminator, Batman, Robin, the Joker, Barry Allen, Flash, John Stewart, Green Lantern, and a few more. The likenesses, and colors are nice and quite bright. The articulation looks basic and kid-friendly, going by their WWE and AEW lines, and to a lesser extent, their MOTU lines. It looks like Mattel is doing a basic kid-friendly line, an elite line for teens to young adults, and an ultimates line for adults and toy enthusiasts. Holy capitalism, Batman. But both understand and respect it. The Marvel Legends MTC and Manwolf, Magic the Gathering and Manwolf, which is wrong. He's in a Star God look where he received the powers of the Moonstone, is $26, and Amazon. Also, the Cobra Frag Viper is also on sale on Amazon. If you're in Michigan and can get to Sarge and Reds, they just received the female Crimson Guard Zap and Retro Crazy Legs Wave. I already have my order on hold. Nice, Sci-Fi. Come on now. The MOTU movie figures have been revealed. Man-at-Arms and Evil Lyn don't look so hot, but He-Man and Gringer definitely have the power. Mondo will be doing pre-orders for their 1/6 Superman, the animated series, next week. Mezco just opened pre-orders for their Freddy Krueger figure. I almost want to get him just for the fedora. The deluxe Deadpool that comes with Wolverine spine, Hulk hands, and MCU Dogpool is available now for pre-order. Whaleworks Super Articulated Bodies, aka Spider-Man, will go up for pre-order tomorrow on 5K Toys and will come in 5 different colors, with black being the exclusive. Christmas is coming early. For some of us, NECA has just teased that they will in fact be doing the Muppets. Let Mortal Kombat begin. Yeah, for those checking out the live stream for the first time, I have said if NECA jumps in on the Muppets line, I'll get some Sesame Street characters just so there can be all-out Muppets versus Sesame Street war. The Muppets will, of course, win because Sesame Street is lame. Let's see, Tuesday, February 17th is the Lunar/Chinese New Year, year of the Fire Horse. So there will be delays in production and shipments coming out from there. Ramen Toys still is not only the Street Sewer Musk and Sewer Musk still available for pre-order, but they also have the double decker. It's the Super Musk with 2 extra sewer dios, creating a sub-basement level that costs $470, $30 cheaper than if you bought the 2 extra sewer dios separately. If you pre-order the Super Musk now, you'll still receive all of the extra tiers. Nice. Including the lighted phone booth that fell about 100 short of its goal. I know, man, that was sad, but I'm glad we still get the phone booth. February 4th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Black Series Deluxe Lord Starkiller will go up for pre-order. That still looks good. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, pre-orders go up for BBTS and Gridiron Studios Warfare Skull Crusher action figures. There'll be a great backup for Monster Forces, the weaponer or armor based off of the head of Gridiron Studios as part of their collaboration on Monster Force. I have Commander Gridiron on pre-order, mostly because I'm going to Bogart his vest for my custom Flint. But then I'm going to need to get a regular Commander Gridiron because I digs me some Monster Force. Anton, most esteemed Time Lord, thank you for your continuous victories and pop culture info. For your invaluable service, may I offer you your weight in jelly babies, or perhaps a year's supply of fish. Good Lord, fingers and custard. Thanks as always, my friend. Fish, fingers, and custard? Great googly moogly, man. Well, that's the bi-weekly rundown for the week. Now, back to you, Dave. Maybe we should follow the Mattel blueprint. Have the Esteem Chat Basic for kids, the Esteem Chat more sophisticated for teens and young adults, and finally, the Esteem Chat Ultimate for the hardcore, financially insane toy enthusiasts. I think it could work. That would be entertaining sci-fi. Thank you as always, sir, for keeping us all informed as to what's going on with the latest in all the toy things. It is always massively appreciated. Jason Expanse, what's going on, man? Hello again. I had such a great time on the last stream. I had to make sure I got here early for this one. Thank you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Glad you had a great time. Hopefully we can have some more fun tonight. Mr. Madsen got back last night. I drove 24 hours in 35 hours. Let's see. From Tuesday afternoon to EOD Wednesday, Burlington's 3 states away. Don't have anything either. That's not fun, man. That is not fun. Brandon Sanderson signed a deal with Apple TV to make movies of Mistborn and TV series for the Stormlight Archive. Sanderson retains full control. I don't know what those are. Oh no, that's horrible. I need to work on that. I need to work on knowing things. Fish fingers and custard, like mixed together. That was me, Spaded One. I read that and I'm like, what? No. Is that a Doctor Who thing, guys? Because I got nothing on that. Yeah, most disturbing. So we don't bury the lead. Let's jump into some of the stuff that I grabbed. Sci-Fi, I think, covered pretty much all of it. This was NECA's teaser for the Muppets. This is it. This is all we know for sure. However, because of this teaser, I think we can safely assume we're getting a Kermit, a Fozzie, and a Gonzo. So we'll see. Now, I would think they'd have to go with Miss Piggy. We'll probably need, oh, what's the prawn? Pepe the prawn. I think he'll need to show up just because he's one of the newer figures. That would be kind of entertaining too. And then there's all kinds of fun stuff. Like we could wish list the crap out of the Muppets, guys. I think I would go insane, especially if they came with their balcony for a Statler and Waldorf set from NECA. Just nuts. Like, get me that set, guys, and I will have all kinds of fun. That would make me happy. So that's what Sci-Fi was talking about with the NECA teaser for the Muppets. Pretty good stuff. Now, I've talked in the past a little bit about wanting to get into just figures based on pop culture, and there wasn't much bigger when it came to pop culture last year than K-pop Demon Hunters. I, of course, wouldn't go all in on the line. This is another thing from Mattel. Mattel actually making some pretty big-time moves. These aren't crazy expensive figures or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm not sure. One of the things I want to do still is get definitive representations of characters. And these look good right now, but who knows if a company like SHF is going to jump in on these. But they don't have, like, they only have single jointed elbows. They do look like they have some ball jointed waists, though, which is a big selling point for me. I think I don't know where the picture was for it. I don't think this is it. But yeah, I figure I'll at least get these three with maybe not the Mattel. It'll depend. It'll depend on what else we see coming out in the future. But again, me with my pop culture stuff, I'm going to need to get the Goku that is coming out later this year. I can't remember which one it's called, but it's basically the new Goku body with the black hair because that's how I think of Goku. And then we got the Man-at-Arms. We got all kinds of MOTU figures from the Masters of the Universe trailer. Seriously, it's kind of Mattel heavy tonight. Throws me off, but when they're doing good stuff, they're doing good stuff. And it looks like we've got ball peg waists for these things. Now, the one thing is for the K-pop figures, I know they're based on the 6.5-inch stuff, so they'll fit in well with this, with the rest of the collection. I don't know about these MOTU figures. So if anybody knows, let me know. I can't tell here as far as Evil Lynn is concerned if she has any kind of ball peg waist, but when you get to the Tila, it doesn't look like she has any kind of articulation when it comes to the waist, which is probably the same with Evil Lynn, which drives me crazy because I turn around here, the Mafex figures all the females have ball peg waists. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but come on, those are Mafex figures. They're way more money. And you're right. But the Jada figures also have ball peg waists. And the G.I. Joe classified figures have ball peg waists. Now, granted, those ball peg waists aren't very good, but the Jada ones are. And I just want to see the female figures being as cool as the male figures when it comes to articulation. So hopefully that's something that's in the pipeline for MOTU. Now, this He-Man, it was a different picture of He-Man I saw, but I got to tell you, when I was watching the trailer, this look is what threw me off. Everything else looked really cool, and this is totally He-Man. Like, I'm not saying that this is a bad look at all for He-Man. This is totally what He-Man should look like, but based on everything else that was in that trailer, he just looked out of place, and that's what threw me off when it came to that. Now, Battle Cat's looking good for sure. Now, you guys know, and those of you who maybe are here for the first time, I'm not a big MOTU guy, so I wouldn't load up on these anyway, probably. And I'm definitely not a big movie guy. So what would be movie figures, I've just got comic versions of things. Like, I won't have a Henry Cavill or anybody else when it comes to Superman. I've just got my Hush Superman, So yeah, no David Corenswet, no Henry Cavill, no Christian Bale, maybe a Michael Keaton for a Batman, but that's a big maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But the point is, I don't tend to get movie figures. But I have to say, I like the look of these MOTU guys. Skeletor was another one that totally threw me off when you look at what was going on with the rest of the trailer there. It just, He-Man and Skeletor, they look right compared to how they used to look, which I love. but somehow they just didn't look like they fit in that world that we saw in the trailer. And now, Tila, this is what I'm talking about. I don't see any kind of articulation going on at the waist there. And you can see that it's kind of straight up and down where her diaphragm is turned at the side. So I'm hoping that either I'm just totally missing it or they improve that in the future. Trapjaw is looking sweet. I'm really liking that. And Triclops is looking good as well. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I actually remember these characters. It's kind of nuts. But now let's get to ye old chat. It's going crazy, Spaded One. Kind of fun seeing a big DC spread like this and realizing how many characters are spin-offs of another character. Superman, Superboy, Supergirl, Superwoman, Superman, but evil, etc. Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's going to be crazy. I'm curious about what Mattel's going to do, for sure. Jason, if we're getting Muppets, I'd love a deluxe animal with a drum kit. Yes. How did I not think of that? Oh, that would be perfect. Okay. So we get Statler and Waldorf in their balcony. We get Animal with the drums. Who else do we need? We need the whole band. Like, we need all of them, including Rolf. We need them all. We need the band. That's it. Done. Good call, sir. Sci-fi, fish fingers and custard and jelly babies are food favorites of the Doctor. Okay, so it was a Doctor Who thing. It still sounds nasty, so hopefully he doesn't combine them, because fish fingers and custard would freak me out and possibly make it sick. It's like I used to go to a bar in Ann Arbor called Connor O'Neill's, and one night I decided to get fisherman's pie. They had that. They had shepherd's pie as well, but I thought, I'll try a fisherman's pie, and I got a Guinness with it. Both good things separately, but the combo does not make you feel good. So don't do that. If you're ever in Ann Arbor and you go to Connor O'Neill's, do not get the fisherman's pie with a Guinness. You will regret it, I promise. Mr. Madsen, Brandon Sanderson is an amazing writer. He finished the Wheel of Time series after Robert Jordan passed away and wrote his own 2 series. Great fantasy writer. Okay, so it sounds like they're going to get some good stuff over at Apple. Spaded One, hear me out. I'd rather Mezco do Muppets. There's a chance they'd cover them in fabric. That's fair, but would they go well with the Muppets versus Sesame Street war? I mean, I'm hearing what you're saying, and on its own, Mezco would kill it with the Muppets, I think. But if we're talking Muppets versus Sesame Street in a hardcore battle, I think one company doing them is the way. Sci-fi, almost forgot Wonder Man. Let's see, all 8 eps came out recently on Disney Plus. It's a character development piece from what I've heard. Darth Maul has a new animated series coming out also on Disney Plus. I saw the trailer for Darth Maul. I saw the trailer for Wonder Man way back when, but I didn't know they dropped all 8 episodes. That's not usually a good sign, is it? Like, it usually signals they're not so sure they have a lot of confidence in the project, I believe. Spaded, fish fingers, custard, and jelly baby sounds like a pizza on TMNT. Oh, but you're not wrong. See, people keep calling Trapjaw Lockjaw. What? Really? That's weird. Like I say, I haven't collected MOTU in decades, and I remember that. Sci-fi, startup chucking Dave eats fish fingers with a custard. No. Don't, no. That's not right, is basically where I'm at there. Imagine the tactile perfection of a fabric body Mezco, Kermit the Frog. You are not wrong. Although, those would be really thin limbs to be covered in fabric. I mean, I'm sure they could do it, but it would be strange. Huh. And I will give NECA this. Their sculpts are usually pretty good, pretty detailed. I wish they'd have more articulation, but I guess when it comes to Muppets and Sesame Street, I'm not as bothered with the articulation as normal. So, all right. If anybody here knows your Mattel things, please hop into the chat and let us know what are some typical, like the way Mattel runs business. Let us know how they do their business. I know Mattel Creations is a thing, and it seems like people have trouble with that from time to time. And also, let me know a little bit. Sci-Fi, you seem to have some of this knowledge, but I want to know what the articulation is like when it comes to the different wrestling lines. Like, what is the big one? Is it the Ultimates one or is it the Elite? Whatever the highest tier is, let me know what the articulation is like on that, because very frankly, I love my MOTX figures, but if I can start getting DC figures at 25 to 30 to 35 bucks, I'll be pretty good with that. Also, just as a heads up on MOTX, Mr. Madsen told me, he sent me an email and he let me know about what's going on a little bit with MOTX. And what's going on is because they've been reissuing so many figures in Japan, and correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody heard this, this was on Kaiju Daddy, but in Japan, they have customer protection laws where if a figure, say, is released from 5 years ago, they have to charge the same amount for that figure that they did 5 years ago. And considering MOTX has been reissuing so many figures, what's going on is they're not making near as much money on those reissues as they did when they originally came out, which is why they're bumping the prices up on their MOTX figures. So here's hoping they realize this isn't the best move maybe for newer characters and newer collectors, and even some of the older collectors that still love them some MOTX. They start slowing down on those reissues, even though I love the reissues. There's some I still need to pick up, but that's just a personal point of view. For this line to keep going successfully, it needs to maybe lower the price and keep releasing the new stuff. And it is all in response to CT Toys. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't want people just coming in and totally ripping off not only the IP, but the work that the real companies do, is because this could seriously hurt MOTX. Now, part of this is the MOTX CEO or the Medicom CEO. He's got a little bit of pride in the game where he needs to just set it aside and start doing some other stuff. But still, this is why these unlicensed manufacturers, especially the ones that just totally rip off design and everything, don't develop their own stuff at all, need to not get money, basically. Especially when you're me and you love you some MOTX. So that's what's going on when it comes to MOTX. There you go. And like I said, Mr. Madsen, you heard the same thing I did. So if I got any of that wrong or if anything seemed confusing, be sure to let us all know in the chat. Now, let's get rid of this. Whee! Oh, no, nobody wants that. Hi, guys. We'll do that. And we'll keep this up. Now, help me out. Now, what could be happening right now is another stinking pause or another stinking slowdown with the chat, which I don't get, and it's starting to really bug me. I'm starting to wonder if StreamYard is the way to go or if maybe I should do something else, because, yeah, what's going to happen is it's going to jump. There's going to be a whole lot more things going on. Yep, there we go. There was the jump. We've got 6 more right there. So let's see what we got. Sci-Fi, will NECA do a deluxe Sweetums? Perhaps. Who knows? I would say all we kind of have confirmed, and I don't know why I said kind of, we saw them on the teaser. Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo. They got to do Miss Piggy. And then, yeah, they got to jump into Animal and the Band, and they got to jump into Statler and Waldorf. They got, Swedish Chef, work. We need that to happen. There's too much. There's so many great Muppets characters that need to happen. Spaded, animal without a drum kit is animal malpractice by the toy company making it. That's fair. That is 1,000%. And it should actually, the drums should be made out of actual drum material. All right, Spaded 1G, thanks for auto-correcting my clever wordplay, iPhone. Real nice. Stupid Siri. She's always messing with us. Skew, what's up, sir? Good to see you. All right, what do we have? Andrew, what's going on, man? I'm sorry. I appreciate you coming in for this fine evening in this chat. Just got the Mofex Black variant Hush Batman today. Awesome figure. He is an awesome figure. I love that thing. It's tough because I've got the blue one and I've got the black one. And once in a while, I think to myself, do I really need both? And then I realize that yes, I do. I might even need another blue one just because the one I have is so old. He's starting to get a little loose in some joints because I used to use him all the time. So adjustments definitely need to be made. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, help me out. Talk to me. Talk to me about Mattel's practices. Talk to me about their wrestling lines. Let's hear these things because I want to know what we're looking forward to. I want to know the good, the bad, the ugly, all that. And we won't know any of it really until the line starts coming out. But I think we could get a good idea. And honestly, if the line looks as good as what those MOTU characters are looking like right now, I think that DC could be in very good hands. For those listening for the first time, I've never been a McFarlane guy. The scale was off. I didn't like how they moved. I have said on this stream multiple times, I wish McFarlane's figures were as good as his art. They just, for me, aren't. They don't work necessarily very well for figure photography. They don't pose as well as I'd like. So yeah, I'm one that is not at all on the fence about McFarlane losing the license. I am 1,000% good with it. And the worst that can happen for me is I just don't get the Mattel stuff and I just continue on my Mofex DC path, which is hurting more and more as time goes on. But I've been on it for a long time. My favorite subline is the Mofex Hush subline. So I can still go with this. And really what I'm looking at from Mattel anyway is to kind of supplement what I've got from Mofex. But if they can come out swinging and their stuff is awesome, then maybe not. Maybe there's a little more that I can use these things for. I'd be pretty excited. I would. Like I just want to see what they've got going on. I know that the kids line, the one that they showed off in Nuremberg, has, what is it? It's not crazy articulated or anything, but I know it's in the 6.5 inch scale, or they're calling it the 6.5 inch scale, which always drives me nuts because that just means all of them are 6.5 inches tall. That's not a scale, but I digress. That's just me being pedantic and hoping people knew words. But yeah, I do enjoy that they're going to be pretty well the right size for the figures that we've got. And I would love it if they were constructed the same way it looks like the MOTU figures are being constructed. I've never picked up a single wrestling figure. Wrestling wasn't really my thing at all. So I don't know anything about them. I've tried to look up their articulation schemes and all that, but it seems like I'll look them up and they get pulled away by something else. I probably tried 3 or 4 times, but then something else just catches my eye way more because I'm not into wrestling. So yeah, there's where I am at. That's kind of my professional, well, as professional as I can be, thoughts on what I want from all these figure lines. And remember, again, those of you that are listening for the first time, I get these things, 1, because I love them, but 2, because I really like taking cool pictures of them. And I want these figures to be good. Otherwise, I'm going to feel like I can't get really great pictures out of them. That's where extra hands, extra heads, accessories, all that stuff really come into play. Because when you've got all those extras, it can do so much good stuff. I loves it. But now, StreamYard is doing it to me again, ladies and gents. It makes me sad. So let's jump over. We shall use something else to help me filibust just a touch. We shall jump on over to BBTS, where the Wolverine SHF Gamerverse figure is coming soon, apparently, on the pre-order. That's kind of funny. That's the first time I've seen that. So here's our buddy Logan. Oh no, looking a little jaundiced, but maybe that's just the photos. Was he yellow in the game? I don't remember. And I'm talking his skin color. I'm not talking his suit. And I don't know, guys. I haven't gotten any of these. Like I've said before, the way that they put the thighs together, like that area, it just doesn't look right to me. And I love my brown suit Wolverine figure that I've got. Still got to get my Tiger Stripe Mafex figure. I love my Spider-Man from Mafex. My Cyclops, the area they've got that has the strap coming down from around his head and attaching to the belt, it's really tight to the point where if you bend them back a little bit, now this is, by the way, I'm talking the Mafex Cyclops. I know I'm showing the SHF one, but I'm talking about the Mafex one, where if you bend them back, the belt climbs a little bit and you get a little bit of blue showing between the belt and the briefs. So one of the things I would like, I do think that Mafex, if they could make a second Cyclops, would be awesome. And it sounds like they've really improved their Spideys quite a bit. So if they can make a 2.0 of the Spider-Man I have, I'd be pretty excited about that as well. So yeah, this is Wolvie, of course, that we're actually talking about. Does anybody have Cyclops? And what do you think of him? We'll leave it on this picture while I go back to the chat where it looks like we had a bunch come in at once again. Stinking ransom frasm. All right, Jason, what do you have? I really don't know much about Mattel as a company, but if we can now get the DC equivalent of Marvel Legends that hopefully fit the same scale as Hasbro, then I'm definitely keen to see how they go. Yeah, I think a lot of us are. That's something else I should have brought up. I don't really get Legends because they don't have the ball peg waist for the most part. So that's what I'm most hoping that Mattel does, is add a ball peg waist to their articulation scheme for Legends, or for their DC line. I would love it if Legends did the same thing too. Skew, what's up, sir? Use Plunderling's cannon for Gonzo the Great if NECA forgets it. Waldorf and Statler, applaud that. Hang on. Here's something we need. I mean, I know we got the cannon, but check that out. we can just break this out from this Plunderling guy. Holy crap, this is Tough. How could I not remember Tough? We could take Tough's mallet, and you know who would use this? We could give this to Kermit. That would be entertaining. Let's put Tough back here. Whew. I've got Captain Ash, I've got Spurt, and Tough down. That's all right. We'll have to get Tough another time. But yeah, I've got Captain Ash and Spurt. I do loves me the Plunderlings. Batmite and Mr. Mixoplick 2-pack. Ooh, that might be entertaining. Oh, Andrew, having fun yet? Anton, hey, what's the Time Lords here? The last of the Time Lords is here. Good to see you, Anton. That superhero mural is very cool. It's a poster you can get on Amazon. That's where I found the picture. So look for it there. Anton, has anybody been watching Wonder Man? I like it so far. It's pretty good. You know what? I knew it started and then I promptly forgot about it. I've been pretty busy over here. I'm now 3 weeks ahead, guys. I'm kind of excited, but I'll definitely have to catch up on Wonder Man. Skew, Big Bird charges up the imagination, riding in on an invisible Hannibal war elephant, Mr. Snuffleupagus. Flint and Duke dance battle. Super Grover flanks animal, crashes out. See, this is where it's at. This is the fun stuff. Duke would be on the side of Sesame Street. Flint would be on the side of the Muppets. And it would just be a bloodbath where all of Sesame Street would get eliminated. And in order to save his own life, Duke has to get into a dance battle with Flint. And if he loses, everybody takes Duke out. Spoiler alert, Duke loses. It's actually quite sad and tragic. Brick, what's going on, sir? Good to see you tonight. Not this means they'll do it for DC, but the MOTU team seems to have put ball joint waist into their MOTU Chronicles figures for the movies. Yeah, for the movie. We were talking about that. We had some of those at the beginning, showing off some of those pictures. They look great, and I'm so hoping they do that. Now, did you notice, Brick, because I was looking and I couldn't tell, I mean, it looks like there's no articulation for Tila or Evil Lynn at the waist, but did you notice anything different? Because if so, I would be very stoked to hear. Skew, Sesame Street versus Muppets War, Electric Mayhem versus Cold Slither versus Pinball. What? Oh, the Electric Mayhem. Electric Mayhem would win against everybody. We know this. I mean, that's almost a spoiler alert, to be honest, except it doesn't need to be because it's obviously not a spoiler. Everybody knows that's how it's going to go. All right, that's ye old Wolvie. Here's that Deadpool, but again, I don't really get all that worked up about Legends so much because of the ball peg waist. Hopefully they'll do something about that. This is a 1000 Toys Master Chief. John Spencer has gotten on here multiple times, and he's told me that the 1000 Toys Master Chief isn't actually all that it's cracked up to be. So take that for what it's worth. I probably wouldn't go too nuts. Plus, I don't think I'd get this one anyway because the green doesn't seem right. And the weapon color seems a little dark. Like, wasn't his rifle, wasn't that a little of a lighter gray? Or am I just, like, I know that his pistols weren't that dark gray. But this is a BBTS exclusive. So what might be going on here is he just gets a different color for that. On the other hand, the BBTS bonus, the M45 Tactical Shotgun. And then, let's see. Master Chief, Mjolnir Mark V. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this one. Let's hop in. You want to see wrestling figures, Dave? My Damn Toys and Kyle Peterson have you covered at Ringside Collectibles commercials. I have never seen a Ringside Collectibles commercial. And this is terrible. Let's see here. I don't know My Damn Toys. I don't know them. Kyle Peterson, I know, but I never click when he's doing wrestling stuff. So maybe I should do that. I'm looking for Ultimates, correct? That's like the top one? Or is it Elites? MOTU is back, yeah, uncarded. They're looking good, man. Rick loved Wonder Man Anton. The acting, especially the leads, Abdul Mateen and Kingsley, are excellent. I'd say that their performances are some of the best in the MCU so far. There were 2 eps, though. Okay, all right. We'll have to see those. Sorry, Dave. In one universe, Duke wins. In the other universe, Flint wins. But you're in both universes. Flint wins in all the universes versus Duke. Remember, in every, what is it that's called? Oh, man. Where, what's her face? Rachel McAdams plays her in the Doctor Strange movies. Oh, why can't I come up with her name? Jane, is that right? You know how that one, it's like she's an anchor point in the universe where you can never change what happens to her. It's the same with Flint. You can never have Duke being better than Flint. Anton, tell me everybody in the esteemed chat who's been watching Sinners was a really great movie, and I love that they kept the vampire lore intact. Don't invite the wrong one in. I need to see Sinners. I have heard nothing but great things about that. Still haven't watched it. Spaded one. I'm still really confused how there isn't any consistent premium wrestling figure stuff. Hot Toys, Mezco, Mafex, etc. I know they did some figure arts a while back, but only 2 figs. I'm wondering, it's either just an insane license to go after, or people don't think they'd make enough money on it. Or there's so many of them, they just don't even know where to start, I guess is a possibility. I don't know, but you're right. It does seem a little odd. That audience seems like they'd eat that stuff up. I do agree. It seems like quite the crew. Didn't really love the movie Sinners. What? Uncarded? Oh, no. That is the first negative I've heard about Sinners. Rick, Ahmed, I didn't look closely enough. Yeah, it looks like the women may not have articulation at the waist. Dude, what century is this? I was talking about that too. When it looked like they didn't, I said, man, Jada's got it. Classified's got it. Mafex, but Mafex isn't really a fair comparison. But I think Jada and Classified are. So it would be nice if we had a little bit of that ball peg waist action going on for the ladies. Uncarded, a few parts needed to be removed or expanded on, but MBJ was fun to watch, especially with Haley. Okay, all right. Need to see. Love Sinners, great film. Again, some masterclass acting. Man, yeah, I gotta see that. Dave, do you have any AWOC? I don't have any AWOC yet, and I've been threatening to get Thane, and I still haven't picked him up. And he's even cheap now, and I still haven't gone nuts. Uncarded, Sinners was like a reboot of From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn was so insanely fun, though. So maybe Sinners would be something perfect to watch. Just because I thought that From Dusk Till Dawn was such a fun movie, which is probably a little ridiculous. All right, so why don't we do this? I want to know things. So let's go to Mattel WE, the WWE. Blah. That's how well I know my wrestling. Okay, let's see here. Hey, look at that. It's a Series 89 Sergeant Slaughter, an Ultimate that does look like a ball peg waist going on down there. You can see that it kind of, the lower torso kind of angles towards the belt. Usually when it's flat in there, that's when you've got just the waist twist. So maybe, let's keep going a little bit there. The only thing, I wish they never seem to show it in these pictures. Like even when you've got the ball peg waist, some places don't show that it's there. But it looks like this Elite Sergeant Slaughter has it. Hang on, let's see what we've got here. This guy, I know nothing. Cody Rhodes. I've heard the name, so I know that much. Don't know things, can't tell. All right. I know this is all riveting as we try and figure this stuff out. All right, LA Knight. I've heard that name too. All right, let's see. Looks like maybe. Dang, he's wearing that coat, but that could be a cut too. But he's still got accessories. Let me go. What is it? Is it WWE Elite? Oh wait, that's what I already got. It's Ultimate, right? Those are like the, oh, look at the pricing there. There we go. See, now that looks like that's a straight cut. So it might be the Elite are the ones to go for. Weird. This is me trying to do detective work during the live stream. Anton, I'm sorry. I'm currently, let's see. I'll have to go to the universe where you liked the movie. Was it too much violence? Was it too much bad stuff? Which movie are you talking about, Anton? I still haven't seen Sinners. So if you're talking about Sinners, I just haven't seen it. From Dusk Till Dawn, if you're picking up on that, that was just a fun movie. So that was good. Help me out. Rick, no way, respectfully. Sinners is actually about something, not just Dusk Till Dawn. Fun as hell. Yeah, see, that's the thing about From Dusk Till Dawn. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember just having a blast. Selma Hayek didn't hurt either. Let's see. Sketches Toy Corner. Nice to see you. Thank you. Finally got one of these live. Awesome, man. Thanks for showing up. And if you know anything about these Mattel wrestling figures, let us know. I want to know what some of this articulation could end up being on the DC collector's line. Spaded one. Sergeant Slaughter is a case where the action figure has more articulation than the source material in its prime. I think you might be right there. Anton, that's what I was thinking when I watched that movie, but it's from a different perspective, not just about two hoodlums who eventually find redemption, Especially love the ending. Faith will save you. Spaded one. Cody Rhodes, Colonel Guile. Oh, that's right. That's why I heard the name. Elites are good. Ultimates are even better. Okay, got it, Skew. See, Uncarded. Sinners had a decent setup. The first 2/3 of the movie built some decent lore / backstory. Let's see, then the premiere fell apart narratively, and they rushed to add a double climax and couldn't stick the landing. Oh dear. Skew, Ultimates have even better articulation at times. Watch MBT and Kyle Dave. They do wrestling reviews of the highest level. Yeah, definitely gotta check out Kyle Peterson on wrestling stuff. I don't know why I didn't even think to try and find one decent video about that. Spaded one, make an ultimate hacksaw Jim Duggan, you cowards. Oh no, I know that name. I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup, but I know the name. Yes, I'm talking about Sinners. All right, Anton. No, I just haven't seen it. I need to check it out. Both of them are really good vampire movies. Okay, Cody is also Dusty Rhodes' son. Dusty, wait, which one's Dusty? I should know this. I know I should know this. Anton, the greatest wrestling heel of all time, is, of course, Rowdy Piper. He could rock the mic and kick your way. All right, hang on. All right, so I'm in Ultimate here. And the Ultimates are $40, it looks like. Let's find somebody. Here we go. Ultimate Edition, this guy. This is terrible. I'm looking for him to not have coats and shirts so I can look at the waist. But this looks like just a regular, straight up cut too. The thing that makes this Ultimate are all the extra accessories, it looks like. Dang it, man. I need ball pegs. What are you people doing to me? All right. What do we have here? Ultimate Warrior. I remember this guy. This guy, Hulk Hogan, and who else? Undertaker, Miss Elizabeth. That was about when I was watching. And that was because my cousin was big into it. Okay, I wonder, that looks like maybe... See, that looks like a straight cut too. Oh, this is going to bum me out. On the plus side, like Brick said, the MOTU figures do have ball peg waists. So that's a good thing. All right, so these are, when you look at most of them, you're looking at, unless they're on sale, you're looking at 38 to 40 bucks, it looks like. Ultimate Edition Rock. Yeah, see, those look like straight cut. Okay, hang on. It's gotta be all those extra accessories. That's a lot of extra accessories. Let's go back to the Elites. I'll say Elite, son. That's something else. Okay, so the Muppets have me stoked, but now Jada needs to realize that it's time to show off some Looney Tunes. We need those. Okay, Elites are they're comparable to Marvel Legends in price, it looks like. Meaning they probably, for the most part, don't have the ball peg waists. Is this the one we just looked at? They do come with quite a bit. I have to give them that. Dang. I'm not getting many answers here, ladies and gents. It's making me sad. Uncarded, Stardust is greater than Cody. I don't know who Stardust is, but I'm going to take your word for it, Uncarded. Skew, Sketches Toy Corner. Let's see, in public, if you will. If you will, the American Dream, the son of a plumber. Got it. Okay. Dusty Rhodes, hard time, daddy, hard times. Okay. That helps me out. Thank you, Skew. Uncarded, Ramona. Oh, no. Anton, I'm sorry, Uncharted. You're wrong. That's okay. Oh, dear. RRP was the GOAT in the movie They Live. Sci-fi, if they do Elite and Ultimate for DC, we can be looking at soft goods, capes, and jackets. And if they add the ball peg waist like they did with the MOTU figures, we could be looking at a lot of improvements. See, Skew, Elites come with less, Dave. So it looks like Ultimate, but we're still not getting the ball peg waists. Okay. I could spend all day trying to figure this out. Oops. And I probably shouldn't. We do have a live stream to go nuts with after all. Did they do it on Hulk Hogan? Let's see. Because you would think, in spite of all the things we have since learned about the man, he's still a big deal. Nah, you can't tell with that big belt there. Okay. Maybe the $40 ones have the ball peg waists. I can't tell here. He's got a little bit of this going on, so he might have the ball peg, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Whoa, he's got even swap out arms. Man, you know what? If Mattel does DC the same way they're doing Ultimates here, and they include a ball peg waist, I think we're going to be in for a treat. I really do. Eric, what's going on, sir? Good to see you this fine evening. If you know anything about Mattel stuff, help us out. I'm trying to learn. Mattel equals Barbie soft goods specialists. Let's see, because they do ball peg waist on MOTU, we have to wait and see. Some do, I think, Ultimates, Dave. I did notice a few. There were a couple that had them, but I was hoping it was going to be like a line-wide thing. I am here to kick ace and chew bubble gum. Oh, Anton, are y'all out of bubble gum? That's kind of the obvious question, is it not? All right, Eric. You see the new MOTU Chronicles movie figures? We did with those ball peg waists. We're all pretty excited about what's going on with them. See, they appear to have ball peg waists. WWE figures do not have ball peg waists, but about 2 women wrestlers have updated waists. Tiffany Stratton Ultimate and... See, an upcoming China figure. Now, updated waist is in they actually give them waist articulation, or they're going to have ball peg waist. Is that what you're talking about, Eric? Just curious, because I did notice the MOTU, the ladies in there, Evil Lynn and Tila, didn't look like they had ball peg or any kind of waist movement. See, Skew, thanks, Eric. I knew some of them did. Uncarded, I got to hang out with Terry Hulk Hogan and his entire family for a day a few years ago. Nothing but respect for this guy. Time in life makes villains of us all. You know what? There is probably a little bit of truth to that. The whole live long enough to become the villain sort of deal. But that's cool that you got to hang out with the man for a day. He was a legend. Like I said, man, even I knew who he was, and I didn't know my wrestling. Okay, so we're kind of stuck there. We kind of don't know everything. Here's something I want to check real quick. Yep, 130 on these still. Ugh, that makes me sad. That makes me sad. Come on, Mofex. As much as I love the reissues, stop with the reissues so your new stuff can start getting released at a better price. Do they have canes? I got nothing. I got nothing on that, Anton. Skew, just not which ones. If they're smart, they will do the waist and the whole 9 for DC. I think if they want to, I have to think if you're looking to do a better job than the closest competitor is going to be Marvel Legends. I would think you would want to do whatever you could to improve on their formula. And for me, and I know that I'm atypical. I know that there's a lot of Legends collectors, which means there's a lot of people that don't care about ball peg waists. But I would think that's relatively low-hanging fruit when it comes to starting your line off with something that can differentiate you from the competition. So you get a ball peg waist in there, you get all those extra accessories, you get cloth wired goods going on with your DC figures. Even if they're the ultimate variety for $40, I would take something like that over a Magic the Gathering and Marvel Legends figure any day of the week. Eric, yes, their new engineering for the figures I mentioned previously all have been cut waste. New figures marketed as updated. I haven't received mine yet to give more info. That's okay, Eric. I appreciate the info you had. That could be really cool because maybe what's going on is they're all starting to say, okay, let's add some ball peg waste here and see what happens. I would be very stoked about that. Skew, Pop Mart, Gong, let's see, is good competition too. Mobex too. Mezco, they gotta bring it. It's tough for a lot of companies. They're creeping towards those prices anyway. So when you feel like you get a better value with one of the import companies, although again, as much as I love Mofex, they're really reaching price wise. So I don't know, but yeah, they gotta make things look really good. You got a lot of competition, Mattel. It ain't just Legends out there. Anton, the Masters of the Universe figures look cool. I know a lot of people won't like them because they're not exactly TV actor, but they look pretty cool. I agree, Anton. I think a lot of them look really good. I talked about this at the top of the show. My only real problem has nothing to do with the looks. It was the trailer itself. And I know I talked about this in the last live stream too, I believe. But He-Man and Skeletor, compared to the whole world they built in the trailer, looked out of place. And I can't explain it. At the same time, what they're wearing is perfect He-Man and Skeletor. It was just weird is all. Hopefully I don't think that when I watch the movie. I don't want to be taken out of it for a He-Man Skeletor epic fight. Anton, I've never heard that expression. Let's see, that way, but you're right. Look what happened to Face. Face? Let's see. Kane is a wrestler and is the partner and sometimes enemy of The Undertaker. Okay. All right. This is me not knowing my wrestling. It's going to be interesting. I'll be checking out some of those reviews and might know more about wrestling after watching a couple Kyle Peterson reviews than ever have at any other point in my life. Uncarded, some of the new MOTU figures have soft goods and are only $24.99. Better value than Marvel Legends. Ooh, the gauntlet has been thrown, Hasbro. How you going to respond? Skew, and the mayor of Knoxville, Tennessee. Really? Is that for real? Or was that just part of his act? Because that's kind of fun. Always love seeing that kind of stuff. Let's see. So we would have Jesse Ventura was the governor of Minnesota. Is that right? I do remember Jesse Ventura, but that might be more because of Kyle Peterson than anything else. You know, conspiracies and all. All right, there's got to be something a little more interesting to look at here than those. I don't know. Let me see here. Let's just look up Mattel and see what we get. Mattel, what's the Masterverse? That's what I wondered. That's what I was trying to get at. I mean, I thought Masterverse stuff looks okay, but they've got just the cut wastes. There was one dude, the elephant nose guy. He looked really cool. I can't remember his name, and I had him when I was a kid, and I can't remember. I have failed as a MOTU fan. Snout Spout's right, correct? And I've always said, if I'm going to get into He-Man stuff, what I need to do is get into the Evil Horde. I remember the Horde with a lot of fondness. I was pretty excited about those guys. Oh no, look at all these sold outs. Okay, maybe I can find Snout Spout in the sold outs. Nope, didn't see him anywhere. Oh, wonder if I just missed him. Ooh, see? There we go, Mantenna. I know, riveting as I go through here at record speeds. Nobody can see anything. No, I don't think Snout Spout. He must have sold out a while back. But I remember seeing him and thinking, whoa, that looks really good. They did a good job on him. It's a crazy new attorney of Beastman. That looks really good. And for him, he almost doesn't need a ball peg waist just because he's so covered with this belt. I don't know if he's got one, but Beastman, he was the figure when my sister was born. The parents, to make sure that they knew, or that I knew they didn't forget about me, got me a Beastman figure. Oh, see, that's what's up. It's all about Hordak if you're going MOTU. Skew Knox County, but yeah, really? That's awesome. Eric, Ultimate WWE figs have presently butterfly chest, bicep swivel, double jointed knees, elbows, knees, but waist cuts come standard on all wrestlers. Hopefully like they're doing, they'll make an adjustment on there. Jason, I think the MOTU trailer makes everything look kind of high tech, whereas He-Man and Skeletor appear somewhat basic, for want of a better word. I think that's what it is, Jason. It's like I'm watching that and everything just looks so cool and kind of futuristic with some of those old school elements like Grayskull. And then suddenly He-Man and Skeletor just look like they don't belong in that world. But I think that's pretty much, that's a description that I think I can get behind. They look like characters from several centuries back from the rest of the characters we saw, maybe. Very basic. Skew, this is why DC collector line has to be what we know. It can be Masterverse. We gotta watch. Hopefully, we need the ball pegs. Come on. That's my big ask, actually. Eric, the interesting thing about China that it will be in the elite line and still have the updated waist, but they haven't mentioned adding that to their ultimate or elite men wrestlers. They gotta do. I mean, man, they gotta do it. This is 2026. SH Figuarts began with ball peg waists in 2008. So everybody that's not doing ball peg waists yet is 18 years behind. Now, I understand a lot of American companies being a little behind other like imports, like the companies from Japan and the like, because they just seem to take that stuff more seriously than we do. But the fact that it's taken us 18 years to catch up, the two major companies out there in Hasbro and Mattel, makes me sad. And Hasbro has done it for the most part, except for Marvel Legends. Anton, Harvey Dent Two-Face. Ooh, they need that. They need to make a Harvey. Uncarded, what action figures does everyone have on their desk at the moment? I've got some Marvel Legends, Mythic Legions, and a few customs. Good question, Uncarded. I have nothing on this desk. I've got everything behind me, though, and literally pretty much everything is behind me. I've got a couple in some drawers, but overall, what do we have here? We have my Mofex. We have my Toypixx Army. We've got some Transformers. We've got some Mythics. We've got some Monster Force. We've got some Usagi Yojimbo. I've got just a bunch, but to say I've got anything right here in front of me on the desk, sadly, no. Eric, Mattel released a statement that Skeletor will not have a soft goods cape. It's plastic, so the images are obviously renders. Not cool. Well, you got to give Mattel, though, the fact that they jumped out, they knew what was going on, and said, whoa, just so everybody knows. I mean, I do agree, though, that you shouldn't start out with that. That's a bad look. But it is good that they jumped in and said, whoa, just so you guys know, this isn't a cloth goods cape. Our bad. Uncarded, you can't have Hordak without She-Ra, and draw the line. Let's see, and I draw the line at the Princess of Power. I think in the He-Man, wasn't Hordak, though. I mean, I'd be totally cool. If I couldn't have Hordak without She-Ra, I'd probably pick up She-Ra. But wasn't the story of Skeletor that he used to work for Hordak? And I don't know how Hordak ended up on, what's the planet? The She-Ra planet. Is that Etheria? Is that right? And then Skeletor ended up on Eternia. I think the She-Ra planet was Etheria, but I don't remember for sure. It's been a long time since I've seen that cartoon. Oh, yeah, we need to know. We need to know the things. We need to know the things. And yeah, that's bad juju. But again, at least they made sure to let people know. Yeah, I wish I knew more when it came to Mattel. Trying to see if there's anything else that might give us some hints here. Oh, I have that in my pile of loot now. Oh, I'm finally gonna have. I've never had a reflector. Like from the time I was a punk kid to now, I've never had a reflector. So I'm finally gonna have reflector, and I'm gonna have an extra thundercracker. So I'll have to get rid of him. But I couldn't get the regular Siege reflectors on eBay or anywhere without paying more than I paid for the 4-pack here. So this was really the smart way to go. Anyway, that's just that was just a little sidebar. Going through all the things here, seeing what there is. There's not a lot besides wrestling and He-Man. Like wrestling and MOTU, that's what Mattel does as far as figures, right? Brick, yeah, that's part of the charm of MOTU. Throws together sci-fi, fantasy, and barbarian genre fiction. It's swords, sandals, and spaceships like old school Flash Gordon, John Carter, or Kirby's New Gods. I mean, I think maybe because at least when it comes to Kirby's New Gods being in comic books, it's harder to see just how different it is compared to everything else. It just threw me. I mean, I get what you're saying, Brick. It just threw me. And like I said earlier, it's not that He-Man and Skeletor look wrong, they look right. So that's where my brain is just totally messed up. They look absolutely perfect as the characters they're supposed to be. It's just the whole thing seems weird. Like when you look at the old comics that came with the original figures, everything had an older look to it. It didn't feel so technologically advanced, at least from what I remember. I could be off, but from what I'm thinking right now, as far as the pictures, it had like an old style to it. So I don't know. I don't know. I just know that what I saw in those trailers looked really new and cool. And then that showed up and just threw me off. But again, they look right. So I can't even, I'm not judging it on that. Eric, with all due respect, vintage Skeletor and He-Man were very primitive looking compared to the technology wielding Man-at-Arms and Trapjaw. And you're right, Eric. I mean, like I was just saying to Brick, same deal. It's like, it's just like they built a different world than where those two show up. I mean, I remember those two way back when, and maybe that's part of it too. Like most of my memories of He-Man comes from Filmation, and it's kind of hard to distinguish those looks. Like it all looked like it went together there in the cartoon. And what Rick brought up, the New Gods, all looked like it went together in the cartoon, or I'm sorry, in the comics. But I'm wondering if maybe live action just throws it off a little. I could be off, and it could be that when I watch the movie, I'm like, oh no, this makes total sense. It completely works in context. It was just that was the only part of the trailer that threw me off. Let's see, sketches. All right. I wanted to see the new Master movie until I saw Leto was in it. You can't even tell it's him. Hopefully, it's going to be all right. I mean, it looked like it's definitely a He-Man movie, which is kind of cool. People that are big fans of He-Man have been wanting that for a long time. Eric, first two mini comics had flying vehicles and He-Man riding a battle cat. Yeah, but Battle Cat looks kind of, ooh man, he still looked a little barbaric. I don't know. Maybe it was the art style. Maybe it was just harder to tell. I don't know. Mr. Madsen, the new Mofex on Ami Ami are 80. Okay. But there we got to wonder about like how much they are to ship over this way with the import fees and all that. I need that rogue to come in so I can so I can say to everybody, okay, guys, this is what I got Nick for on shipping and on import fees, tariffs, and all that. Here's the price she ended up being. Once that happens, then I'll know whether or not I should still go with Ami Ami or if I need to jump over to other places like domestic sites. Anton, it looks like a very hot summer for movies this year. Spider-Man, He-Man, and the Masters of the Universe, and several others. So it should be really interesting. It should. It should. I mean, I'm looking forward to a few movies this year. Skew, also in 2000X, he's Adam slash He-Man's Uncle Keldor. Hordak makes him Skeletor, Randor half-brother. I remember that. I did see some of that series. And maybe that's where I got that Skeletor used to work for Hordak, too. Uncarded, sketchy Leto would actually make a decent Keldor, to be fair. That's true. That might be where we actually see Leto's face. Randos. Anton, all my guys are on the shelf. I just tested them, keep them clean and healthy and happy. A friend of mine said they're really cool, but what happens when they all come to life? That's why you just go to bed at night. You let them come to life. As long as they're back where they were when you went to bed, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Jason, uncarded, my coffee table currently has a bunch of random Marvel Legends. Dr. Mindbender and some Dreadnoks. Jada Toys Blanca, yes. Sagat and Chester Cheetah, another yes. 2 different D&D Owl Bears and MMPR Lord Zed. That's Zed. I know nothing of Power Rangers, and that Lord Zed, if you're talking about the Lightning Collection, I was kind of tempted by that. Mr. Matson, don't forget G.I. Joe Day is February 1st, Sunday. Usually a lot of reveals on that day. Pre-orders probably start next week. I saw something that said G.I. Joe Day, but that was it. I didn't go into the details. Thank you, Mr. Matson. Much appreciated. Everybody, mark this Sunday on your calendars. We're going to see some G.I. Joe stuff. Anton, the word was the evil group that had taken over the planet that She-Ra eventually ended up on. Her name was Adora. I remember that. And eventually she was used, as the captain of the Horde until she found out I don't remember that. She-Ra Skeletor was an evil horse apprentice before he left and went off to do his own evil. Okay, so he was the evil Horde apprentice, I'm assuming that meant, right, Anton? Uncarded, Jason Nice Hall. I like having a few figures within reach to pose and display. Yeah. Brick, I generally strongly dislike most live-action costume translations of comics/cartoons like MCU or DC, but good story, and that goes away. That's very true. That's very true. And I think, I don't know, like I said, it was just jarring in a trailer that looked a little more futuristic, you know? Like I said, hopefully when I see the movie, I'll be like, oh, okay, this totally works in this context. Like maybe it looks all futuristic and they walk into Grayskull and it doesn't look so much that way. I don't know. And I'm trying to explain it, and it wasn't that it was that big a deal. It just threw me off is all. So I'm still going to see it. And again, Skeletor and He-Man look the part for sure. It just was jarring in the trailer. But my assumption is, because it's the same guy that did the movie Bumblebee, wasn't it? My assumption is he's going to do a great job, because Bumblebee was my favorite live-action Transformers movie. And this is the dude, you know how they have different people come in and do IP films, and then like the big pop culture type brands, and then sometimes they don't end up so well? Knight is a guy that's going to come in and do a good job and respect things and hopefully keep the old fans and bring in new fans at the same time. I'm confident that he's going to treat the MOTU movie very well, and the hardcores are going to like it a lot. Uncarded, Anton, my shelves are full. I like to rotate the figures and repose them before putting them back up. Oh, that just sounds so fun. Brick, total nitpick, not into the call to go ancient Greek warrior with He-Man's costume versus the furry boots and shorts of a classic barbarian. The brown matchy-matchy look of the gauntlets, hilt, boots, ew. I mean, I get it. I totally understand, Brick. I feel like what I'm trying to say is nitpicking as well. So it's no big thing. I bet you're right. I bet we go in and it's going to be a good story and everything else is going to melt away because of that. Because again, I think Knight does a good job. Chattanooga Ed, good to see you on tonight, man. I popped on to say hi. When I get home tonight, I'll watch the replay. Hey, man, I appreciate you coming in, man. Anytime, glad you get to watch the replays. Whew. All right, we got through all that. What else, anything else that I missed talking about that you guys are pretty excited about? Because what I want to see, I want Mattel to really start crushing it when it comes to their DC stuff. And then if they crush it with their DC stuff, I might take a second look at some of their other figure lines. But it's going to take DC crushing it for me to do so. But yeah, unless we're talking the K-pop, I might still get those three girls just to have them added to the pop culture shelf. And in the meantime, while I'm wondering what the people are looking at, I'll hop over to some featured pre-orders. We'll see what we see that's really fancy. These look fancy. Don't know what those are, so they weird me out. Oh. Okay, hold on. Led and Zeppelin, 1/35 scale. They still look cool. Look at that. Huh. Anyway, that was me trying to find some crazy stuff. What are these? 1/25. These are cool too. You're gonna all be shocked. I like robot looking figures. Shocking indeed. All right, not a whole lot here. Speaking of robot looking figures, we do have the Missing Link Grimlock. We have the MPG Hot Rod. We have Leo Convoy, Green Leo Convoy, and we have a couple side swipes from, which movie is that? I think that's Revenge of the Fallen, because it looks like he's got the hood on his back, or the roof, I guess. Man, just going through, looking at pre-orders because I can. Not a whole lot, actually. A lot of those were statues. Weird. Do you guys collect statues as well? Because it's got to be that BBTS does okay with statues, because they stock tons of them. So my assumption would be they must sell pretty well. What are these? Oh, those are sweet vehicles. Okay, what do we have? These are... those are different action figures. I don't think we've seen that line before, or I haven't. Neo Eden Toys. They are approximately 6.2 inches, so we've got figures that would fit in with much of our stuff. Huh. I don't know what to say about those. So I'm just clicking away, seeing what I see. Yeah, there's not a lot showing up for figures. I really think we're gonna be in kind of a holding pattern until Toy Fair happens, which is also basically me sitting here trying to come up with crazy little talking points for these live streams. It might be a whole lot of chill chats coming up. But here we've got a great figure. If you guys missed out on the Mafex Bane, and you have any inclination to get this guy, I would get him. This was them, I think, kind of testing a bigger figure to see how well they did. And I think they crushed it with Bane. So again, if you're thinking about him, he's $110, so he's not cheap, but he's not the $130 that Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent are. So if you're thinking about him, I might consider grabbing him and maybe jump over to Ami Ami, see what he is over there. And then these are a lot of the reissues. I love this Joker. This thing is fantastic to me. I know I've heard a lot of people say they don't like him so much. I have so much fun with this figure. You have no idea. He is, like, look at that. Come on. That's the perfect twisted Joker, is it not? Uncarded, I kind of like the new He-Man costume in the same way I enjoyed the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman costume interpretation. Yeah, I did think I liked that costume as well. Anton, yes, Skeletor was Hordak's apprentice. He always never lets him live that down. In the Christmas special, they talk about that. I might have to, do I have to go back and rewatch some Filmation and some He-Man cartoons? Like, I saw some of 2000X, but I didn't see it all the way through. Uncarded, I collect 1/3 scale statues, mostly J&D and Prime 1, not recommended. The price on those things has to be crazy, yeah? Anton, the second He-Man in the Masters of the Universe series, the one that was on Cartoon Network, was really good. The ponytail He-Man is horrible, or is terrible. The ponytail He-Man. Was that the one they had, like He-Man in space or something in the late 80s or early 90s? I don't know that I know the ponytail He-Man. Jason, I'm a sucker for some good villain figures. I'd love if Mattel made a Mr. Freeze based on his appearance in the 90s Batman cartoon, or at least inspired by that look. That would be fantastic. That's the Mr. Freeze, from what I understand, that actually gave him some personality. And man, that episode is it's soul crushing watching that again. Like, it was a far deeper series than I think I gave it credit for at the time that I watched it. Of course, I was a teenage punk at the time, so I probably wasn't thinking at all about that. I was just thinking, cool, man, Batman, man. So yeah, I do go back and I do check out some animated series from time to time. I got to pick that up in whatever physical media there is out there. I actually used to have the Columbia House VHS tapes of all those episodes because that was so good. And you bring up a point here too, Jason. If Mattel comes in and starts doing some of these figures that Mafex just wouldn't touch. I mean, I'm looking at the villains that they provided us so far. We've got Joker, we've got Harley Quinn, we've got Bane, Catwoman, and Catwoman's kind of iffy. I'm not so sure we call her a villain anymore or not. And then they're doing Ra's al Ghul without a shirt. They're doing Scarecrow. They've done Riddler. But those are like the major guys that were in Hush. They haven't done guys like Penguin. They haven't done the Ventriloquist. They haven't done Mr. Freeze. If Mattel gets into those, and I don't expect them to for a while, but if Mattel gets into those, that would be awesome because I don't see Mafex doing characters like that. So I'd be really excited to see some of those come from Mattel, especially if they go with the ball peg wastes. Uncarded, I think that we're on the eve of Christmas or of Chinese New Year. What is it? Chinese New Year is the 17th, I believe, right after Toy Fair. Anton, I have my Planet of the Apes section and I have some superheroes there because I just don't have room for them. And now I have my Doctor Who guys right next to my Farscape guys. Farscape, I don't think I've ever seen that either. But Doctor Who, I did see some of those with Matt Smith, which I've talked about ad nauseum, I'm sure. But yeah, man, that's a good crew. And Anton, that is very much you too, man, with all the Doctor Who figures. I'm stoked that you get to look in front of you and you've got just these great representations of characters you absolutely dig. Might not be my thing, but it's your thing. And to have cool characters of it, that's awesome, sir. So yeah, I would, anyway, back to Mr. J. I would encourage, I'm not going to sit here and say you should go out and get this Joker. I will say that he's $90 on BBTS. So that's not insane compared to probably what you get him elsewhere. But I have a lot of fun with him. Others, maybe not so much, but I think he's a blast. Bane, I would 1,000% recommend. I think most anybody needs to pick up that Bane. I also love this Captain America. The one problem I have with him is where his neck meets the chest here. It's hard to pull it out. So I've actually had to heat him up and I've had to get floss down in this crevice to pull up. So that's kind of a pain in the butt if you want to put on the Steve Rogers head. Because yeah, you've got Steve Rogers' neck and his skin tone and all that down there. And in order to make that work, you got to pull off the blue neck, and that's a pain in the butt. Other than that, there's one more thing. He does not have a saluting hand. So that's kind of a bummer. So it's tough to pull out this neck, at least on mine, and there's no saluting hand. Other than that, I absolutely love this Captain America figure. Let's see, what else can I recommend? I don't have any of the others, so I can't recommend them. I can say I want this. Wow, he sold out again. People really want this Berserker. They really want this Keanu. I'm going to have to get this Keanu, aren't I? Oh, man. He's so Keanu-y. Yeah. Gonna have to find this somewhere for sure. And the chat is still doing what the chat did last time, where it's kind of freezing up a little bit, and then it'll jump in and I'll get a lot of people talking. So that'll probably happen one more time. And then after that, here we go. Okay, there were a few more. See, uncarded Anton, it's a madhouse, a madhouse. I don't know. Anton, I think the Mattel does a good job. They've been making toys for a long, long time. They changed the industry with Barbie. Without Barbie, we would get no G.I. Joe. And that's true, Anton. That's very true. But that was a long time ago. It's like McFarlane totally changed the industry as well, but his stuff isn't keeping up with what the industry's doing right now. And I feel like Mattel, with the ball peg waists, or with the lack of a ball peg waist, they're not keeping up with the industry right now either. But they're showing signs that they're gonna start doing that. So hopefully that happens very soon. Anton, don't worry, we passed through the night of the Fayas. Well, that's good. Those are pteranodons. Yeah, those are sweet, aren't they? Uncarded, yes. I remember that Batman the Animated Series episode with Mr. Freeze. I think it was called Heart of Ice. I think you're right. That sounds right. Anton, once in a while, I collect statues. Oh, no. The price. Do they have Doctor Who statues, Anton? Uncarded, it was season 1, episode 14. Great episode. Yeah, it was. And they had a bunch like that were just kind of a little heartbreaking. Anton, you're absolutely right. Heart of Ice is probably one of the best episodes of Batman the Animated Series. They won an Emmy for that episode. I didn't know that. That Joker looks really great, and that Marvel Girl or Jean Grey looks good too. I will say that Jean Grey, I have 2 Mafex figures I would not recommend. One is Thor because of his severe lack of articulation, and he's a weird size compared to what the other Avengers are. And Thor's articulation is even weird in the torso. It's hard. I can't explain it. It's hard to make work correctly. And then that Jean, I wouldn't recommend that Jean just because the way they did her hair, there's almost nothing you can do with her head, like bending it back at all. So I like the Jean figure. If you're a hardcore 90s X-Men Mafex fan and you need that Jean, absolutely get her. But if you don't need her to be Mafex, I might actually go with something like Marvel Legends. If you want a Mafex Jean, get the Phoenix. That figure is incredible. But that 90s Jean, she just doesn't do it as well as a lot of the other figures Mafex has, which makes me sad. I mean, I think that's a great look for it. It's a lot of fun. Anton, yes, that's the ponytail tail He-Man, the one where he was in outer space. Okay. Jason, I never understood how a pre-order can sell out. Isn't the whole point of pre-ordering something to let the manufacturer know how many they need to make to match the demand? I would think maybe they're just allotted a certain amount of pre-orders, and they say, you know what, here's what our records say that we're going to be able to get, so let's do this many. I know that when they did a reissue of the Tiger Stripe Wolverine way back when, it's the only time BBTS has ever let me down. They had it, I pre-ordered it, and I got a notice saying, sorry, we didn't get enough of them. Because it did say pre-order still when I went for it, so I was kind of bummed about that. So yeah, maybe they're just allotted a certain amount. I'm not sure how it works. But I can see the confusion for sure. Anton, I would like to see some obscure Batman villains as well. Maybe Madback and maybe the Condiment King. Oh man, Mad Jack, right? I can't remember that character actually. I do remember the Condiment King and the Clock King, but the one from Batman the Animated Series. Man, the ventriloquist. Oh, Mattel could do the ventriloquist, and that would be a whole lot of fun. All right, guys, it just turned 8:30. So here's just hoping, man, that DC jumps in and does something really awesome, and we're just kind of blown away by what happens. That's what I want to see. Hopefully, those B tier characters and hopefully some A tiers that make me go, wow, maybe I don't need as much Mofex as I thought I did. That would be much better for Mr. Stabby, the angry, murderous wallet. Anyway, everyone, that's it for tonight. So thanks as always for stopping by. I massively appreciate it because, hey, you could have done anything tonight, and instead you chose to hang out here with all of us. So thanks again. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya. Just hit